How you doing? This is Crafty Sue, and I've got a new tool to show you when you're making jewelry. If you work with polymer clay making earrings, these are really come in handy, because a lot of times when I'm molding my earrings, somehow I cover up the hole where there isn't a hole to put the wire in, to put them on the earring wires. So this is a little drill, a little hand drill. Now this is a nifty gadget. It comes with all these different little drill bits. There's 1, 2, there's 3. And it may look like only the one end comes off, but this end comes off just like that. And then there's an adapter in there. It's 2 different sizes. And if you take off the other side, it's got another adapter in there, 2 different sizes. So you can put the adapter on either end, doesn't make any difference. You just want to pick the right one for this size drill bit that you have. I've even used my Dremel tool bits in this. So there's a little teeny tiny one for thin wire. And then there's one that I call a middle kind of thickness. And then this big one, which is basically the same size as a regular Dremel tool, smallest drill bit. And this I would use for like wire wrapping. So if I was going to wire wrap a stone or a crystal, and so I would use a thicker wire, and this would help with the thicker wire. So what happens is a lot of times, like with these, and this was a nice accident actually, most of the times the molds, like for this kind of earring thing, this is going to be open. So, but it's not, and I like it this way for a couple different reasons. Once it's done molding, it's recessed here, so I could literally put like a silk flower, dried flowers or something in there, put a little bit more resin on top, let it set, and then I would have this little window with something decorative in it. I still might do that with this one. Well, I have several different ones down here, but the one I'm going to drill the holes for is this shape right here. It's a triangular. It's got a little triangle cut out right in here, but it's solid. I can't put that through there. It's solid. And the way I got this was when I poured the resin in the mold, I let the resin sit on top of the mold instead of just below the edge. So it was totally flush all the way across. So every single one of these in the mold that I have came out like this, so that if I wanted to put something in here to make something a little different, I could. So I'll show you how to do that with one of these in one of my videos. But so I have a pair of earrings. These are going to be earrings. I don't have any hole to put the wire in, so I need to put a hole in them, and that's where this little tool comes in really handy. Now, I'm not going to use the super tiny one because I want to use about a 16 gauge wire, or probably 18. The rule about wire is when you're making jewelry is the higher the number, the thinner the wire. And I don't want to use 24 because 24 is flimsy. It's like it wouldn't hold up. So 18 is a good one to go with. So I'm going to use the middle size one. I just have to find the right tip that'll fit it. And you want one that is going to fit in snug, but it's not going to be too loose. And I have 4 to choose from. That one may actually work. This end here, because it's so close together already, that would be for the little skinny one. So I'm going to use this middle one. Not that tiny one. That one's too big. It's kind of like Mama Bear, Baby Bear, and Papa Bear. This one's just right. So if it'll stay in there like that already, then that's a good one to go with. And when you put your drill bit in, you're not going to put it in all the way. You're just going to put it in like maybe about quarter, well, about a half an inch. Put it back in the tube. I'm going to put this end back on this end. The end with the shorter threads. Let me show you that. The shorter threads. There's longer threads here, but that's to adjust for tension. So put that on the small end. Actually, I should have put that other adapter in there so I don't lose it. And that's why it's great that it's hollow. You have some place to put it safe. Put it in there. And you can also put the extra drill bits in the handle of it when you're not using it for that. And then this is the tightener. So I'm going to put that on there and tighten that down. Let's keep turning it till it's good and tight. And I know that this is not going to go anywhere. So now I got my hand drill. Okay? Now for these, since I want them to kind of dangle this way, I mean, I could put the hole for the wire in there anywhere, but I'm going to put it in this top corner right here. And all you do is you put it down and just, since it's resin, it's pretty forgiving. And you just start twisting it by hand. Ideally, I mean, I have a piece of plywood that I normally put under here, and just start twisting it. Now because it's thin, it's a thin layer of resin, it's not going to take too long to do that. Now another thing you can do is, if you've ever heard of making a pilot hole, like when you're going to put nails in, you can make a pilot hole. And there's a little awl that I have. It's real small. It's smaller actually than the actual drill bit. And I'm going to use this is a tack hammer, or an upholstery hammer. It has two different ends on it. One is to pull tacks out with, the other's to hammer them in. So I'm going to put this in where I just started doing that. I'm just going to tap it a little bit till the point comes through the other side. Take it out and take my little drill bit and finish twisting it all the way through. Now to make sure that's a nice, clean, smooth hole, I go to the back side, I turn it around, went to the back, and just make sure that it goes in and out really well. So now I have a really nice little hole in there. I don't know if y'all can see. Let's see if I can I don't know if you can see the hole in it this way or not. Yeah, you can probably see it there. But that's the hole for that one. I'm going to do the same thing on the other one. It's always good to kind of do the hand drill just a little bit to get it started. Put your little pilot hole, just a couple little taps, so that way the drill bit doesn't have as hard a time drilling through it. Comes to the other side. I want to clean it up, so I'm going to put it on the other side. Okay, just kind of blow it out there, and now I got a nice clean little hole to put my earring wire in. Now I make my own jump rings, and I have a video on the jump ring maker that I have. There's different ones. The ones that I have, I can't find them anywhere, so I really am holding on to them because they're very easy to use. So I have to decide if I want to do silver earring wires or gold, and for these I'm going to do silver. So the rule of thumb that I use with the wires for the earrings and what size jump ring to use is the width that the earring is, and you want a jump ring that's at least twice that wide across, because otherwise you're going to be bending it out of shape and have to bend it back into shape, and nobody likes to do that. So for this I use two jewelry pliers, and I'll take one pair and hold on one side where it's cut, where the slit is, or the opening, and the other one on the other side, and I'm going to do an opposite twist, one to the front and one to the back to separate it. There's also a jump ring tool. I've never used mine, to be honest. I just like the feel of doing it. And then holding that wire, you feed it through. You want to twist it open. That's why it has to be twice the width of your earring. You're going to be able to slide it on and put it through that hole. So what I'm doing is I'm going to put it in through the front and then slide that ring around. So now it's all the way through. Then I'll pick these up again and hold on to it. Twist it back the opposite way. So the first way I turned it, I'm actually twisting it back. That way it retains its shape. Just like that. And now there's two steps. Once you twist it back, you're going to see there's a gap. There's a gap in the ring. So put your pliers on the outside of it, and I push too hard. And you want them to just meet. I'll pull them back out. So now they just meet. And if the one end of it seems to be sticking up, do the same thing but push down, and that way they'll go flush. And then you want to give it a good squeeze. That's to seal it shut. Now because it's all hangs to the side, you see the ring is to the side, I need another ring to go into the earring wire for one of two reasons. So that it will dangle properly, and also so that will face right side out. So I want the indentation part to be my right side out. I'm going to grab an earring wire here somewhere. I have them. Silver wire. Earring wires. So I'm going to take a second jump ring, the exact same size as that one. Sometimes you can get away with using a smaller one, which is preferable, but if you can't, use two of the same size on each earring. Some of these I made myself, and some of them were already made, so I'm pulling out the bigger ones that are made. Come on. I tried to separate them by size. So those are mediums, large, and really small ones. And some of these are split rings. Split rings can be hard to work with, so I prefer not to if I don't have to. But for the second ring on here, I can deal with a split jump ring. And so I can get that one. They're hard to get unbent. So if you put your plier teeth in between the two, it'll separate it enough so that you can slide the first ring onto there. The purpose of the split jump rings is to not have them come undone. And what you do is once you get them connected, you just roll it around until it locks in place. And it will lock in place right about there. So now I have this jump ring. And jump rings are so that you don't have to do this twisty action. Now the trick with making sure that your earring hangs with the right side out, the side you want to be visible from the outside, is where this hoop part, the rounded part of the earring wire is, that needs to be facing out. So when you put it onto your jump ring, that's the part that you want to be facing out. And so I'm going to separate this part. I kind of have to do with my fingers. And slide it on. And again, just twist that jump ring around to lock in place. Ta-da! Ta-dum, ta-dum. Now I actually put that on backwards. Yeah, because I wanted it the other way. So, one good thing about jump rings is it's easy enough. You just go back to a beginning spot, take it off, and just flip it. Flip it around. I wasn't watching what I was doing. Okay, take that out. And all I'm doing is sliding it around. I'm just sliding that little guy around. So, I can get it off of there. And then, now that I know that's the wrong way, then I need to do it this way. Because I want the rounded side to be facing out. Come here, dearest. In there. Okay. Come to there. Come to mama. Just slide it on there. Now, if this isn't dangling far enough down from the earring wire, all I would need to do is just add another jump ring. And it could be a split jump ring, it could be a regular jump ring, it doesn't matter. As long as it's a jump ring. Okay. So, let me see, where am I? Okay. So now when this earring is actually on an ear, okay, this is going to hang on the outside like it's supposed to. Now, since I'm not really crazy about how this is hanging on here, what I would do is just make another jump ring for it. Now, the other option that you can do is make your own ring by not using a jump ring. But I have these little green ones that are cut out. So it's the exact same earring, except that I can show you. This goes through. It goes right through it. Okay? So I want a jump ring at the top, but I need to make it big enough so that it comes over this point so it hangs right. So in order to do that, what I use is, believe it or not, these are called Rosary Pliers, because they're specifically made for doing rosaries, where the bead sits in here in this little cutout, and then you bend the wire a 90-degree angle, and then you cut it off at a 1/4 inch, and then you make your loop to connect the next bead to it. So that's what that's for. And these are great for making unusually sized jump rings, because my jump ring maker does up to a certain size, but so I want to make a big one, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the wire and I'm going to wrap it around the fattest part at the bottom of this. You can use these, but then you end up with a flat side, so a rounded plier, and I have one, but it's very, very thin. I had one out here before. But anyway, so I'm going to, with my fingers, I'm going to take this wire and I'm going to wrap it around it till it meets on the other side. And use these to make it flush against the rounded portion so that it's nice and round, because otherwise it's going to be kind of pointed on one end. So let's put this, you sort of wrap it like that. It's hard to show you. So one of the things you can do with these guys is, because this wire is kind of stiff, is go ahead and kind of round it out by hand, and then pull it around till it meets where you need it to meet. Then the great thing about these Rosary Cut Pliers is it has a cutter, so you can cut it right where the wire meets itself. This. Like that. And then make sure that it's opened enough. Got it opened enough. Let me see. It's hard to show you guys these things when I don't have a piece of, but there it is, opened up. And I want to put it through the top of this. And I'm going to take the two hand pliers that I have and just put the pair down somewhere. I had both of them. There they are. I try to have color coded, red and blue, and have them shape it to meet as if I had made a regular jump ring. Just like this, round it up. Da, 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 da. And bend it to round it off. I'm trying not to break the earring. It's still delicate because it's not very, very thick. Boop! Almost lost it. Okay? It goes flinging across the room. And the jump ring went somewhere. Somewhere out there. It's not that one. That's the only problem when I do some of these. So we'll just use this one. Da, 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 da. Like this. I'm going to force this one to bend. Da, 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 da. And try to make it as round as I can. That's not going to be perfect, but close enough. And put that in there. Now this is an eye pin, and I'm using it for two purposes: for a jump ring and for a connector to the earring wire itself, which is kind of a little trick. So get this kind of stiff, kind of like a fish hook. You can do it like a fish hook. So I'm going to kind of close it in, and yet trying to get it to do its little thing that I want it to do. Okay. There it goes. Okay. So now I've done like this kind of fish hook closure with the eye pin. It's called an eye pin because it has this little loop on it that's already on it. So for this, I've taken an eye pin, cut off the extra, and now I have this little hole here that the earring wire can go into. But I have to make sure that when I put this on here, and this is a good way to make sure if you need another jump ring, hold your earring right side out like you're going to wear it, and then the earring wire goes like this, right? And if both of these are facing the same direction, then you need another jump ring to make it go the opposite way. This earring wires on the bottom actually have a loop just like on there, and if you're real careful you can pry it open just a little bit, and slip that earring wire in there, and then close it back up real careful. Slide that little ball down, and so now your earring hangs just the way it's supposed to. So remember, when your earring's facing out, okay, you're going to have a jump ring going this way, right, facing out. So your earring wire that goes here has to go this way to make it hang right, and that's what using an eye pin does. So you can make your eye pin, your jump ring and eye pin, you know, actually it kind of functions like two jump rings when you do it this way. So let me take another one. I'd forgotten about that little trick, and I like doing it that way. So, what did I do with my, I just had them here. There they are. So what you need is, this is an eye pin. Let me hold this behind so you can kind of see. That is an eye pin, okay? So you take the eye pin, and you're going to shape it, you're going to round it so that it becomes the jump ring also. So hold it like this. Here's the eye. Take the wire, because these are pretty stiff, these little guys. And you want to pull it and shape it around the rounded part of your pliers. And what you're going to do is where it touches, where's that other earring? There it is. And the way you know how much to cut off, you just slide it through the earring like this. Okay. And you want the eye pin part to be on the back, on the wrong side, on the back side. And so then all I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut it right in front here, cut off this excess piece, shape it to close it in, and then put the earring wire in. That's all you need to do. It's very simple that way. So we're going to cut off the excess, the wire cutter part of the Rosary Pliers, and then shape this little rounder. To there. So you want that to be kind of flush. And tighten it up just a little bit. Yep. Like that. How far up does this guy go? Not very far. You want them to kind of be hanging at the same depth. So put it like that. Come here, bub. Here we go. Get that twisted around. Tighten that up. little extra piece off of there. That's on there. Come on. I'm trying to make it as close to a jump ring shape as possible. That's what you want to try to do. Just like that. And then take the earring wire. Open up the little loop at the bottom. These have the little ball end on them, so it makes it easy to open them up. And put it in there, and then close it back up without having to make extra jump rings or anything like that. And now there are 2 earrings facing the right. Let's see, I can show you. The right way out, just like that. That was easy, wasn't it? Very easy. It's easier with an eye pin when you're doing dangles, and I completely forgot that I used to do it that way. So there they are. Now you can get these jewelry cards online. Like 250 of them are really inexpensive, and I have these little curved scissors that has a little curved blade to them. And what I do is, it already is pre-punched holes for earrings, but in case I do earrings and necklace set, I'll take the curve and we'll start at the corner, and I'll cut down in there. So if I wanted to make a necklace, which I've done necklaces for these, and then you just take your earrings, put them in there, just like this. And their backings, there's different backings for them. These are just the little nub ones for dangles. For posts, there is a flat back, and these are little short, stubby backs. So I'm going to put these on here to show you. That on there for display purposes. There's all kinds of different earring cards, or some that, you know, are plastic and it'll clamp onto a display with the little rods and stuff. But there's the earrings all set up. They've got the little plastic safety backs on them, and very easy to do. So if you don't want to make a bunch of jump rings, don't want to play with jump rings as much, and you're going to use the, I call these the twisted ball earring wires, these guys. See how it has a little ball on the end? Because that loop down there, you can pry it open. It's just enough to fit these on. Then get a bunch of eye pins. Use the eye pins. I'll do some more things with the eye pins for you and some other videos on some more jewelry. And I hope you've enjoyed these earrings and the little hand drill, which comes in really handy, especially if you do your own beads. If you're making your own polymer clay beads, this is how you put a nice, neat hole right through it. And you've got 4 different size drill bits you can use, or more. If you have a Dremel tool, you'll have other drill bits you can put in this too. A little straight awl for that. It's, well, they call it a bead reamer. But you can do it that way too. And just have fun making earrings. And necklaces is the next thing. So, if you've enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. Tell me you like it, don't like it. You know, leave me a comment or two. Share it with your friends. Anybody else who wants to make some jewelry. Jewelry is a lot of fun to make. And when you can't think of anything else to give somebody, and you know they like necklaces and bracelets and things like that, we're going to make some anklets. And why not make them something? Find out their birthstone and make something really unique. We're going to do magnetic. That's going to be one of the jewelry items that I'm going to show you how to make. How to make something with magnetic beads. So, excuse me. If you've enjoyed the video, no, sorry about that, I'm getting over a cold. Hey, why not subscribe so you can keep up to date on the newest stuff that I put on? And I got some more stuff for you. I got some new molds. Yeah, I got some new molds and I'm getting excited. And we'll do resin. We'll actually do resin. I'll show you how to color resin, how to glitterize it, and if you're interested in any of those things, by all means, put it in the comments like, hey, can you make earrings with glitter in them and make them out of resin? I got molds like you wouldn't believe. Got lots of them. This has been Crafty Sue, and this is just one of those things I do, is I do some jewelry, and the art is coming up.